Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the facelift for the Q8. This is the 2024 Q8 Premium Plus. Huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Definitely take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. So this Q8 is finished off in Glacier White Metallic. It has an MSRP just over $82,000. And this is powered by the 3-liter turbocharged V6. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission, pumping out 335 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. That power sent through the Quattro all-wheel drive system, propelling this 5,000-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. It has a top speed of 130 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 22.5 gallons. You'll expect to see around 17 miles per gallon in the city, 23 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 117.9 inches. Its overall length is 196.6. It has a width of 78.5, a height of 67.2, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.8 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this Q8, let's talk about what is included with the facelift for this model. So up front, the Audi badge is different. Obviously, it still retains the 4 circles, but a little bit different of a design for it. There's a forward-facing camera up front, as well as all the cutouts in the hexagonal grille, which is not new, but this surround is finished off in chrome for this model. Now the headlights are different. They still retain the LEDs for the DRLs, turn signals, as well as the headlights and the high beams. However, now for 24, you can actually opt for the matrix beam LED lights if you choose to do so. And then there's massive inlets on both sides with gloss black and all the parking sensors. There's some brush trim in the lower section of that bumper with another cutout, and then very similar lines coming down the hood as the previous models. Now this model also has a set of 21-inch wheels with a nice multi-spoke design to them. You'll notice some crisp lines for the fender flares, both front and rear. There's some brush trim in the lower section of that side skirt there. And then for the side mirrors, there's a camera and turn signal. They are power folding and heated as well. And then up top, this does have the dual pane sunroof, which is a part of the executive package. And then all the window trim is finished off in brushed aluminum, as well as the roof racks. I think it has a really good sporty design to it. You'll notice the rear glass is steeply raked, but it's not quite as raked as some of the other sportier coupe models for the SUVs. I think it has a really nice integrated design. Along with the body colored spoiler, there's the third brake light, as well as the wiper blade. And then for the Q8, the LED taillights have a redesign to them. So it's a very nice strip running through with the new Audi badge right in the middle. This has a backup camera with all these sensors, more of that brush trim in the bumper, and with the towing package that this model has, this can tow right around 7,700 pounds, which is pretty impressive for this model. You can definitely use it to tow a lot of items. Now this also has remote start. You do have to use the app in order to do that, and then you can use the key fob or that button to open up the power liftgate. Now in back, this has a good bit of space. There's some nets on one side along with cargo lights. There's the cover that you can use as needed. And even with that steeply raked glass, you don't really lose any height for your storage. There's also the spare tire underneath the floor, and you can also fold down the rear seats. So if you need a little bit more practicality, you have the option to do that. And then up top, you have the 2 normal buttons to close it. You can also use one to lock the vehicle as well. Now, as we work our way to the back door handles, you can lock and unlock it, which makes it very convenient. And for this door panel, we have the Sage interior, which is a nice complement. This also has the Bang & Olufsen sound system. There's a little bit of storage, as well as a small storage tray behind both of the window controls. So you can actually adjust the passenger side window from this side, because you can also raise and lower the sunshade. So that is automatic, so you can use those controls, of course. There's brushed aluminum with wood trim surrounding that. And then we have the solid leather seats. And at 5'10", it's honestly very roomy in the back. You can also move these seats forwards or backwards, depending on the comfort or the storage you have in the back. There's storage nets behind both front seats. These are even heated rear seats as well. And then you have all of your climate adjustments laid out very nicely. There's air vents above that, some auxiliaries down below. And at my height, I have maybe 2 inches above my head with the seat fully reclined. So you can move it back just a little bit to get a little bit more comfort, which is nice. Right in the middle, there's the armrest, as well as 2 cup holders, and you can even fold down this middle seat individually. So if you need to gain access to the back, that makes it quick and easy. Now there is a little bit of a pillar behind that headrest there, but a very large window on both sides, so you can easily see around that. Then we have the dome lights up in the middle. And then as we work our way to the driver door, it's just like the rear. However, there's the memory seating adjustments, all of the window controls, side mirror adjustments, and then you even have the liftgate release and a little bit more storage in that lower section. And then the front seats are automatic, so all of those adjustments are down on the side, and it's not all that high of an SUV, so it is easy to enter and exit. Now the steering wheel is solid leather with some brushed aluminum accents. Let's fire this up though. That button is down below. And we can go through the virtual cockpit by using the controls on the left side of the steering wheel. On this right side, there's Bluetooth and voice commands, along with volume and tuning, and then there's also a favorites button too. And you can go into the infotainment system to control what you would like that button to do. There's also paddle shifters, and then on this left side, we can use those to further go through this info. Now you'll notice that the temperature on the left and fuel gauge on the right are fixed, and then for this digital screen, you can scroll through quite a lot. There's the tach on one side, miles per hour on the other, and then you have all of this information that you can go through and view as needed. Now, if there's something like the navigation that you would like to see in full screen, simply just click on view, and now that's going to take up the entire screen. You can also still go through the rest of this information in a larger view. So just depending on what you'd like to see, you can hide that away or bring it in a larger view. Now on this left side, there's the cruise control along with distance pacing, so it's on that stalk. And then also on this left side, very large bin down below where you can place some items. There's the headlight adjustments, some piano black and more of the wood trim. And then as we work our way to the first of two screens in the middle, this is where you have a lot of information to go through. You have all of these icons that you can scroll through, including your settings. You have some other apps that you can set up and adjust. If we go into a vehicle, this is how you can get into your drive select. So you have a few different drive modes depending on what you're doing for the day. You can get through your lighting, your AC, some other adjustments. And then on this left side, these are all fixed. So these are shortcuts to get into this information. Now what's interesting about the controls, they have the haptic feedback. So hopefully you can hear that click, even though it is a screen, you will hear that to make sure that you are getting that feedback so you know you're pushing on those controls. And then there's also the split design where you have a lot more information. Now underneath that, in between both of these screens, there's also these few controls here for your engine start stop, your downhill assist. If you push on those four buttons there, you can actually set up presets for the navigation, which is nice. There's also garage door buttons, and you can shut that upper screen off if you would like to. Now you have all of your climate adjustments for this lower screen, including your rear. So if you push on the three dials in the middle, you can get to your heated steering wheel as well as the rear climates, so you can adjust those from up front. And then there's your temperature, where you'd like the air to go, and fan speed too. And then this also has heated and ventilated seats, and there's a few other controls right in the middle that are easily laid out. Now underneath that, there is a shortcut to the drive select, so what I just showed earlier. There's also traction control, you have some defrosters, and then there's even a shortcut to the camera system. So you can push on that and then expand this view, and now you can go through the 360 view just to give yourself that much more visibility. There's also a safety setting that you can push on and adjust. So you can go into your driver assist and adjust that as needed. Power and volume for the radio is the last control on that right side. Now there's two cup holders along with a 12 volt. A little bit of space where you might be able to place the key fob or some smaller items. And then with the shifter, we will push it forwards to activate reverse. Drive is going to be back, where the forward facing camera will automatically appear. You can also shift using the shifter or the paddle shifters, and then park is located on the back. Now the e-brake is just behind that. And then for the center armrest, you can actually slide this forwards or backwards, depending on the comfort that you need, where there's the wireless charging underneath, along with a little bit of storage and the storage in front. And then the glove box also has plenty of space, and there's more of that wood trim just above it. And then up in the middle, there's the touch sensitive dome lights, as well as the controls for the sunroof and the sunshade. And here's a look at visibility. With that pillar in the back there, from this angle, you still have those windows on both sides. So that way you can still see around it in both directions. As we set off now behind the wheel for the facelift Q8, the interior really isn't any different from the non-facelift versions. It's mainly the exteriors that I've showed you, just to give it a little bit more of a sporty design with some of the changes and design elements that Audi has decided to integrate. So the interior is pretty much what you would expect to see for the Q8 in general. This is an SUV that debuted, or for this generation, right around 2018 or so. So this model has been out for quite some time, and for 2024 it finally gets a facelift, which are some minor changes here and there. Possibly we'll see a new redesign, maybe 2025, maybe the next couple of years. But for now, we have a very nice SUV, one that I don't get to drive all that often, but this is very, very nice. This is what you would expect from an Audi as far as how it drives and the materials and just the feel and quality that you are going to get. Seats are super comfortable as well, so you can get these dialed into a good spot. And then as far as the power goes, let's put it into the dynamic mode. Now this isn't a loud vehicle. Audis generally don't have a loud exhaust. It's what you would expect for a family SUV like this. It's not crazy loud. There's no upgraded exhaust. That's why you would go with the RS Q8 if you wanted the sound and of course a lot more power. But aside from that, it's very, very nice to drive. I own an Audi myself. I also have a BMW too. This is virtually identical as far as driving goes to my BMW. It's what you would expect for a luxury brand, of course. And this would be a nice daily driver with how quiet it is on the inside. I believe the Audis have the acoustic glass for the windshield, maybe for the front windows too. But it's so quiet. With traffic passing, you can't even hear them. I can whisper. It's a nice place to be. And still in dynamic mode from second gear, here we go. Even with a mild acceleration, plenty of power for this and very quick with that Tiptronic transmission. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Audi Q8. We have a pretty large dashboard for this model, so the glass is pretty far away. You can't really see that passenger side. Obviously the window sticker is there right now, but you can see kind of the base of the hood almost there, just to give you some reference where the vehicle is. And of course you have the sensors and the camera, which is going to help you too. It's a pretty big vehicle, but so far it seemed very manageable to drive. So if you're in the market for a vehicle like this, it's not really intimidating to drive, but you have a lot of space within this interior. And as far as bumps go, like we just went over, it's absorbing these very, very well. And hopefully you can tell just how quiet it is on the interior. It's also very maneuverable too. The turning radius is super tight. So we can do this turn incredibly short here and then get back up to speed when we are ready to go. It's nice that the driving modes do have a difference as well. So when you go into auto or comfort, the throttle response is a little different. So again, just depending on how you like to drive. But this is a great option. Of course, you can get a less expensive Q8. This has two packages on it to make it almost fully loaded with the premium package. So depending on your budget and what you're looking for, you can get a lot of good options for this luxury focused SUV. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2024 Audi Q8. Once again, a huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Definitely take a look at their website. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.